Elon Musk says that he will begin restoring previously banned Twitter accounts, tweeting, "The people have spoken. Amnesty is back next week." The decision comes after Musk conducted his own poll on Twitter users. Now Musk does, he's going to do what he's saying now. He says that the accounts will only be restored if they have not broken the law or engaged in egregious spam, but it is unclear what the parameters for determining that would be. So the consequences here could be really great for the embattled company. A clinical instructor at Harvard Law, says that what Musk is doing is existentially dangerous for various marginalized communities. It's like opening the gates of hell in terms of the havoc it will cause. Obviously, this is very controversial. A lot of folks are paying attention to it, especially the two people we have joining us now. CNN economics commentator and Washington Post opinion columnist Catherine Rampell, and CNN political commentator Scott Jennings. Hello to both of you. Good morning. So, Catherine, some people may say that this sounds like hyperbole, but Twitter is very powerful when it comes to messaging and influence, and it does have consequences.
Yeah, I mean, I think reasonable people can disagree about what a content moderation policy should look like. One person's fake news is another person's free speech. I'm not sure that pre-Musk Twitter necessarily got the balance exactly right. The problem is that Elon Musk now is encouraging his users to cross the line, essentially, to become more hostile and potentially harass people more, so long as it doesn't break the law. And by encouraging people to cross the line wherever it is, this platform is necessarily going to become a more hostile place to hang out. And I'm not sure that's great for marginalized groups and high-profile individuals who might get harassed, et cetera. I'm also not sure it's great for the bottom line for Twitter.
Well, because are you talking about all the brands that are just sort of leaving Twitter at this point?
Yeah. I mean, about a third of Twitter's top 100 advertisers have now left, or at least suspended their advertising over the past few weeks. And that's not because, they're woke companies or whatever. It's because there are legitimate concerns about brand safety. They don't want their logo posted next to a neo-Nazi tweet or a serial harasser or a would-be terrorist or what have you. It's dangerous for them, for their brand image. And so I think when Elon Musk talks about how he wants to decrease how much the website polices content, polices users, while simultaneously increasing advertising revenues, those objectives are fundamentally somewhat at odds, because when you open the gates of hell, or whatever the analogy was, you're gonna maybe drive some more looky-loos to see the burning dumpster fire there, but you're going to drive away a lot of your advertisers too.
Scott, the thing that sticks out to me is how Elon is conducting so many of these major decisions by just polls that he's using on Twitter. Obviously, you can't really tell who's been voting in these polls. Yeah. That was the case when it came to restoring big accounts, former President Trump's, Marjorie Taylor Greene's, accounts like that. Also, this decision that they're talking about unbanning all the other accounts. I wonder what you make of that and what your take is on how that's been handled so far.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I mean, obviously, he has been more protective of general free speech than the old regime. And that's been his principle, as far as I can tell, his argument for having bought this platform in the first place. I mean, it's a little fascinating to watch. I mean, as Catherine said, this is a for-profit company. It'd be like the four of us buying Coca-Cola and just opening up the vats and started pouring stuff in and see what happened. I mean, it'll be like a little bit of a high wire act, because it's a for-profit company. You have to get people to buy it, the advertisers, as Catherine said. So from that perspective, it's kind of fascinating. But I think the way he's handled the decision making is pretty true to the way he presented it when he decided he wanted to buy it in the first place. Look, I'm not sure Twitter got all these bannings right in the first place. Remember, they once banned the oldest newspaper in the United States during a presidential election because they didn't like what they were tweeting out. And so I think there's probably some people that need to be brought back. There's probably some people that probably don't. Ultimately, though, for him, the bottom line is the bottom line. And whether advertisers stick with this or not is whether or not will determine, whether this was successful.
I got to ask you, listen, Scott, I know that you were a supporter of the former president. I'm not sure where you land on that now, but you didn't like his bombast. You didn't necessarily like the tweeting. And so for bringing all of these people back, I mean, do you think it should just be an open door policy, number one? And do you think the former president should start tweeting again?
Great question. Well, where I am on it now, just to be clear, is I think we need a new nominee. I think we've had enough. We tried this twice. We didn't get more votes than the Democrats twice. So just to clear that up, that's number one. Number two, if he wants to tweet, I don't have a problem with that. I thought it was weird when they banned him in the first place, to be honest, when there are a lot of other world figures who are, far worse, in my opinion, than Donald Trump that are allowed to be on the platform. But he's got his own thing now. He's got his own social media platform. And so I'm not sure it's in his best
Would kind of
financial
undermine
interest
that.
to join another platform. So, but I don't have a problem if he's on there.
Yeah.
Well, contractually, it may be difficult for
Yeah.
him to get on. I've been trying to talk to his team about this. It's not really clear what that is going to ultimately look like. I think he probably wants to get back on. But we'll be watching to see what happens next with Twitter, what steps Elon takes next. Scott Jennings, Catherine Rempel, thank you both for joining us.
Happy
Hope you had a
belated
great
Thanksgiving to you both,
Yeah.
by the way. Good to see you.